So today we're going to have a look at factors and multiples of whole numbers and how we can use factors and multiples to solve problems. Now, something we need to know first about factors and multiples is that factors and multiples are two different things, but they do both involve multiplication. So let's pick a number like 8, for example. So to find the factors of 8, we have to think about the numbers that we can multiply together to make the answer of 8. So we know that 1 multiplied by 8 makes 8. So 1 and 8 are factors of 8. Also, 2 multiplied by 4 makes 8. So 2 and 4 are also factors of 8. So the factors of 8 are 1, 2, 4 and 8. Now let's have a look at the multiples of 8. So multiples of 8 are when we take that number and multiply it continuous. So 8 is a multiple of 8, but 8 times 2 is 16, and continuing 24, 32, 40, 48, and because I'm skip counting by 8s, all these numbers are multiples of 8. They are 8 being multiplied. So let's think about factors some more. We said that any numbers that multiply by another number to get an answer is a factor. Now, some numbers have few factors, but some numbers have many factors. So let's look at a number, for example, like 24. And let's find the factors of 24. Now, I can do this systematically. I know that 1 goes into 24 because 1 times 24 is 24. 2 is also a factor of 24 because 2 times 12 is 24. I know that 3 is also a factor of 24 because 3 multiplied by 8 is 24. I also know that 4 is a factor of 24 because 4 multiplied by 6 is 24. What about 5? 5 doesn't multiply by any number to get a result of 24. So 5 is not a factor of 24. But 6 is a factor because I know that 6 multiplied by 4 is 24. 7 is not a factor because nothing can multiply by 7 to get the answer of 24. However, 8 is a multiple because I know that 8 multiplied by 3 is 24. 9, 10, 11, none of them multiply by a number to give me a result of 24. But I know that 2 multiplied by 12 is 24. And because I've now used all these numbers, I also know that the only one left for me to use is 24 itself. So the factors of 24 are 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, and 4 and 6, because 4 and 6 multiplied together get 24, 3 and 8 multiplied together will give me 24, 2 and 12 multiplied together will give me 24, and 1 and 24 multiplied together will give me 24. So we have found all the factors of 24. So now let's have a look at multiples. And multiples are when we multiply a number by another number. For example, let's take the number 3. If I keep multiplying this number by other numbers, I'll end up with a pattern in a way. So if I keep continuing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and so on. So all of these numbers are part of like the 3's multiplication pattern. So 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 and so on are what we call multiples of 3. Okay, we're going to have a little look at something that we call a factor tree. And a factor tree is a way of breaking down numbers into their lowest factors. And while we do this, this can be a really helpful strategy for solving division, multiplication and division problems. So let's look at an example. Let's use that example of 16. So I'm going to find the factors of 16 using a factor tree. This can be done in some different ways. So the first thing I'm going to do is find two numbers that can multiply together to make 16. And the first thing I think of is, because 16 is an even number, is 2 and 8. So 2 and 8 are factors of 16. But I can break this down even further. I could say that the factors of 2 are 2 and 1. But then I would just keep repeating the 2 and the 1, and that could go on. So 2 is as far as I will go. This is the lowest factor. But 8 has factors as well, other than 1. And those factors, again, I can think of are 2 and 4. Because 2 multiplied by 4 gives me 8. Now 2 is where I'm going to stop here, because the only factors of 2 are 2 and 1. But 4 also has factors, which is 2 multiplied by 2. So the lowest factors of 16 are 2, 2, 2 and 2. Now, here's something really interesting. If I actually do this in reverse and multiply these numbers, I can check my answer and say 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 should get me back to 16. Let's think about that. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, and times 2 is 16.